Only one team enjoyed the batting on Thursday, but both sides have had a field day on Friday. More than 450 runs scored for only the second time in a single day's play in a test in India. And yet, as we welcome Sanjay Manjrekar on ESPNcricinfo Match Day, Sanjay, India, despite being 230 odd for three, have so much to do in this test.
Yes, but I love the way India have, replied with the kind of situation that they were in, and I thought the captain led by example. Just the way he was batting, you could see that there was lot more expression of belief. That front foot was getting down the pitch, so he set the tempo, and India didn't hold back. And this is modern day cricket. So when batters get in, you'll see, run rate of this kind. So it's been a magnificent test match so far. Watching that first session that we saw the first day, 46 all out, and then New Zealand playing the way they did, and India's reply, really impressed with the way India have responded.
Yes, and you could almost argue that had it not been for the last ball of the day, Sanjay, India might have actually thought that they have just about nicked this day.
Yes, you've got to feel sorry for Virat Kohli because there was potential of a big 100 there, which means India would have been another 80, 90 runs plus, and Rohit Sharma as well. I mean, how beautifully did he bat? And both of them didn't quite, make huge blunders, but this is how the game goes, and that's why it's a little more difficult for the batters. What mistake did Rohit Sharma make? Just a little bit of an inside edge. Virat Kohli, right at the end of the day, misjudging the line a little bit. But yeah, on a serious note, would have been a great day, but there's still enough batting left. There's a lot of batting depth. But I just love the way the seniors, both Rohit and Virat, rose to the occasion by the quality of batting. Maybe they need more runs, that's for sure.
Yes, a bit more on Rohit and Kohli and India's batting effort soon, but we have to start with the man who still remains the headline act of the day, Rachin Ravindra. He was responsible for New Zealand crossing 400, making that lead that enormous figure beyond 350. What stood out, Sanjay, with Rachin's innings?
One thing that you see with him when he's in and when it's his day, he just wants to carry on. He's got a double hundred in Test cricket. And even during the World Cup, you could see that when he got 100, he wasn't done, which is, great. And both Rahul Dravid and Tendulkar had those qualities. So Rachin, with, those the name that he has shown that quality, the appetite for runs, because after 100, he was still very keen to carry on. The other thing, the most impressive bit, which we haven't seen in a long time from a foreign batter, is against three quality spinners. Very rarely did he defend the ball sort of dead. He was so in command of the situation, and his reading of the length was so good. His footwork so decisive. It was almost like copybook, where you go down the pitch front foot when the ball is up and go right back in the crease. So he actually, most of the balls that the spinners bowled, either he was pushing off the front foot or driving them for runs or cutting them off the back foot. Now that is excellence of batting against spin and shows, how good a player is. So much to like about him. But what really stood out for me was the three quality spinners on a pitch that had, maybe it wasn't a rank turner, but some spin couldn't get him to actually play a dead defensive shot because he was so good at picking the length that he was either, comfortably playing off the back foot or confident enough to get to the pitch and drive it off the front foot. So brilliant.
Yeah, not often that visiting batters come and score 100 plus runs just of India's spinners, and that too at better than a runner ball. Also worth talking up that partnership between Rachin Ravindra and Tim Saudi, Sanjay, because the start of the day, India would have thought they've nicked the morning. They got 4 wickets. You were in a position where the lead could have been limited to about 200, but then that stand remains the difference in the match situation right now.
Yes, and India started off superbly, and I thought it's another game where the Indian bowlers will bring India back in the match because Bumrah Siraj started well, and Rohit Sharma's captaincy at the time was spot on. He quickly went to Kuldeep Yadav, Jadeja, and then much later to Ashwin. So he went with bowlers that were likely to trouble the batters out there because Rachin was struggling with Jadeja's line outside the off stump. So excellent captaincy. But after that, I thought he lost control a bit. I was surprised that Bumrah was kept away from the attack so much when you could see that this partnership was going to be a problem. Huge gap. I mean, when Saudi and Rachin got together, I don't know how many runs they got before Ashwin bowled beg your pardon, Jasprit Bumrah bowled the first ball to them. So that I thought was a mistake. And somewhere I feel that maybe Rohit Sharma needs to preempt certain things. And, after the damage is done, when you respond, it hurts the team quite a lot. And that happened in that New Zealand batting innings.
Yes, it was the 65th over when Saudi joined Ravindra in the middle. Bumrah hadn't bowled after the 60th, and he only came back to bowl in the 82nd, which was after the break. And by then, a lot of damage had been done. And that
Yeah,
takes
I just
us.
wonder how many runs these two guys got together, because at some stage, before that partnership just got out of hand, Bumrah should have had a crack at Saudi at least.
Yeah, and that points to the few areas where India were found lacking. There's a tactical side to it, and as well as what the bowlers could have done differently in the face of that onslaught.
Yeah, that is something that is peculiar to the kind of bowling Ashwin possesses and Jadeja. They are very sort of accurate bowlers who tend to attack the stumps. And if they're needed to do something different, it's not that quite that easy for both Ashwin and Jadeja, because then if the pitch is responding, then they're masters at using the conditions there. Jadeja is somebody who's played all his cricket in one way. You haven't seen Jadeja being too different with the way he's bowled. Ashwin tries a lot of variations, but line is something that you change when you don't get success, and that's where Ashwin is not gifted in the way his bowling action is to bowl outside the off stump like a Moeen Ali did. I think it was in Southampton, and use the rough. So there are limitations there. Kuldeep Yadav, I thought could have maybe tried being a little slower. Just imagine a few years back we were talking about him getting quicker. Now that he bowls consistently in the 80s, he could have maybe just had a little loopy trajectory that he used to have before. So he continued to be flat and then became pitch dependent, but I thought he was the best of the three spinners. So, yeah, within their limitations, I guess they did their best. The pitch was good, and full marks to New Zealand's batting as well.
Yeah, it all finished with New Zealand taking a lead of 356, which is considerably more than the highest lead India have ever overturned to win a test. But their bid to keep themselves alive in this test was propelled by the batting effort. Let's talk through the men who were there at the end. Sanjay, Virat Kohli, Sarfaraz Khan, both with ducks behind them in that first innings that everyone wants to forget. What stood out about the way they batted?
Just the way they came out in the second innings. Rohit Sharma as well. You could see that there was some pressure as captain. He needed to get some runs, but you just saw the body language in the way he was playing. It looked like he had 100 in the last game. It's something KL Rahul could learn from. And then Sarfraz, you know, so much to talk about him, but quickly we'll go to him after I've talked about Virat Kohli again. Somebody who's watching today's game can learn from Virat Kohli with the intent that he shows, no matter his own situation, what stage of his career, whether he's out of form, not in form. So much talk about him not getting runs in a home series, got out for a duck, but came out and backed himself and played really well against Spain, starting with a cut. There was a lofted shot, and I think he scored at a strike rate of 90 against the spinners, and they're pretty decent spinners, the two. So well done on that. Ticked one important box. But the talking point has to be Sarfraz Khan, because he reminds me of a Javed Miadat of the 1980s, but this is a 2024 version of a Javed Miadat, and really impressed with the way he played. Spin, of course, we know he plays well, but I like the way he played the fast bowlers. And towards the end of the day's play, when he was looking to play defensively and wanting bad light when there was actually bright light, love the way that he was ducking into bounce and just trying to play the day out. So he has that game as well. So that augurs well for India and Sarfraz Khan sort of in Australia, because he showed that element in batting as well.
When you talk about Rohit and Jaiswal, both of them had looked quite good too while they were out there. Both will look at this innings as a missed opportunity for a big one.
Yes, and I think Yashasvi Jaiswal, for no reason, I think started off a bit too defensively. And I was just trying to read what was happening there. And maybe Rohit Sharma suggested that he could play freely. And that's when he sort of, went down to the fast bowler, I think Matt Henry, and drove him on the off hand, and then started playing a little more freely. But yes, once you've got your 30, you've got to make that count. Rohit Sharma, people will say unlucky, and yes, unlucky because he was playing so well. But if you look at that actual dismissal closely, he's played for the turn. And I thought Ijaz Patel bowled really well, one of the best left-arm spinners that we've seen in a long time, because this is not a ranked turner yet. And the ball just sort of came back in, and Rohit Sharma played for the turn, got the inside edge. When you have a bowler who bowls quick and gives a lot of rip, the ball tends to sort of go back in that way. Rohit Sharma, obviously, when he played it, thought he's played it well, and then realized that the ball has gone to the stands a bit too late. But yes, fantastic innings. I thought just the the statement that he made as captain, which actually then carried on later as well. That is the thing to love about this Indian team with their batting, how they tend to stay positive no matter what.
Yes, and that means that they can still dream of something spectacular. Only once, as a lower total in the first innings, resulted in a test win, but still some
I'll
work
just
to
say
do for
this.
India.
Yeah, I'll just say this. The pitch will hold the key.
Mm.
The pitch looks pretty good. If it becomes a really sort of crumbly rank turner towards the end of the test match, India have mm, a ray of hope. Because then, if it crumbles the way that we've seen some of the Indian pitches in the past do, then maybe 150 might be tough to get, or 125, and they're still into batting. Ashwin Jadeja will be quite a force on this pitch as batters. So yeah, we can expect India to carry on with this. Not making merry, but just piling on the runs.
All right, so if we take the figure as 150, that leaves India with about 275 more runs to get in this innings. Let's see how much further this test match moves on day 4. Thank you, Sanjay, for your time.
Thank you.